queens in the house. We're my most beautiful queens in the house.
Hey everybody, it's your girl Jamila. Welcome to the Queen's Address. Welcome into the Queendom. We are in Brooklyn today with a very, very special guest. You know him from the Artifacts crew, Elder Sensei. What's up, El?
Hello,
how you doing?
How you doing? Everything good. Nice day, no rain, sun.
Yeah,
nice
man.
little background, grass and birds.
I know. We hold court
Nature.
out here. Yeah, man, out here in Brooklyn. How does it feel to be back in Brooklyn today?
Oh man, I'm always in Brooklyn. I try to frequent it as much as I can. Most of the time it's for business, but you know, I actually got to come here tomorrow.
Okay.
And do a show. My man Doc Ock, rest in peace. We're doing a memorial show for him. Every year we've done this since he passed, so I'll be out here tomorrow.
Oh, okay. Respect to that. Respect. And so I want to get right into the interview because I've been excited about this interview. Can you take us back to the early days of Artifacts and what was the hip hop scene like in Newark and how did it shape your music and your sound?
For when we came, even when we first made our rounds, and what you got to understand is in the neighborhood of where we're from and area where we're from, it was already popping. So you got Redman, Lords of the Underground, Naughty by Nature, Queen Latifah, Lakim Shabazz, name them. We were the last of the people in our neighborhood that actually got a deal to put out records, and it got to a point where we knew, it was like, okay, everybody's out. We the last ones. And we got our chance on Stretch and Bobito in a whole different way than you would probably say how you would get a deal. You know, we didn't go the route of going to the labels and putting in demos and stuff like that. Tame won a battle on the phone, and next thing you know, we were there, and the climate was very high as far as, like, you know, people were waiting. And when we got our shot, I mean, once it came, it was like we joined the club. You know, I saw Tretch, I saw Vinny, started seeing all the artists that we knew, even Fugees, where they was like, yo, y'all
That's
here,
right.
y'all
That's
here.
Right. Yeah.
So, you know, Jersey is within itself a mecca of hip hop, where to add our 2 cents into the neighborhood of people we knew that was making records, it was bound to happen. We just took a little time, but we got there.
Yeah, no, that's dope. And so how has your sound evolved from your first solo album, okay, Relax, Relate, Release, to your latest project?
Well, Relax, Relate, and Release, I was scared to even do that record.
Really?
Because I'm fresh out of being in Artifacts, and I'm being a solo artist now. Like, I didn't know how people was going to take to that because I've been in the group so long. That record was a lot more personal than any of the records I've done. I spoke about things that happened without being so direct and what really happened. But I, shed light on a lot of things. I had songs where I was talking about being on tour. It was songs that I would normally might have not have made. So I knew, being by myself, it was like, okay, you not having this other person here with you to rock. Now you got to say a lot more.
It's a different feeling.
So that was a challenge.
Yeah.
That was a challenge, and knowing is not a crutch, but 8 bars usually he go next, Tame go next. So it's like, now it's your turn, and that's when once I got into the flow of it, because even before I got to do that first album, I did a lot of singles. I was like a NBA player on a 10-day contract with all these different teams, which was the different labels. So I would sell records in that way, where when I got to Seven Heads, I approached them after going to a group called Unspoken Herd. I was at a show they did in Philly, and I was highly impressed. I walked up to them like, damn, where y'all come from? He from D.C., and then find out that Blue Black is Wes Jackson's brother.
Okay.
That ran the Seven Heads label. So they gave me an inside lane. Here go the number, call him up. I called, asked for I don't know if you call it an interview, but that was the first time I actually went to a label to present myself in a way where, he saw my track record and he gave me a shot.
Oh,
and
that's
that
dope.
was out of the way of now that part done. I was scared because
Mm-hmm.
I didn't know if he he was the first person I went to get a deal.
Mm-hmm.
So knowing his track record and seeing the music that he's put out,
Mm-hmm.
Unspoken Heard, J Live, I
Mm-hmm.
knew that I had to come with a whole another presentation than I did with Artifacts. So, and he gave me the chance to do it. So
Yeah,
that
that's
was good.
cool.
And up to now, the music has definitely changed. I would say vocally and lyrically, I got grown a little bit more confident in myself
Mm-hmm.
since that first record. To say like, okay, it's that first one, I did the Unusual album with Fat Beats, and
Mm-hmm.
when I got that record done or got that deal, everybody that worked at Fat Beats I knew.
Mm-hmm.
So once they knew I came up there for the meeting,
Mm-hmm.
and after the meeting was over, they came up to me and my one friend Fred, he said, "Look,
Mm-hmm.
that last record you did was dope,
Mm-hmm.
but just we don't need to hear nothing, no more personal, just blackout on every
Mm-hmm.
song." And that album came the way it did because I was in my mind saying, "Okay, I felt a little bit better about my situation."
Mm-hmm.
So freely, I just let the songs come. I reached out to every producer. I wanted Illmind was the now he look at him.
Mm-hmm.
He was the first placement that he ever had as far as a record coming out.
Mm-hmm.
Socrates in Canada got a beat from him. J. Rawls,
Shout out to
and
him.
Rawls has been on every album I've done up to this
Mm-hmm.
point. Even
Mm-hmm.
me and Sadat.
Mm-hmm.
So and we working on a solo album as well.
Oh
Me and
wow.
Jay. So we got it.
You got it going on.
Yeah, but see with me and Jay with me and Rawls record, this has to be finished and done because Buka was there and we did a lot of these songs.
Yeah, rest in peace to
So
Buka.
I think about that record a lot in
Yeah,
a
yeah.
personal way. So I tell Rawls all even though it's taking me a minute, it's gonna get done, but it's gonna be dedicated to him, Tame, Chaos, because they heard all these songs while we was
Absolutely.
doing them. So
No, that's honorable.
Yes.
No, I understand. What's your favorite memory of Tame One?
man, there's a few. There's a few. Um, Tame was a guy, no bones. If he would tell you how he would feel, or his actions would tell you how he would feel.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, I got a story. I know Run-DMC was his favorite group.
Mm-hmm.
We was doing a song called "This Is the Way," and it's on the second album. Chaos was cutting these run scratches from Run's house. And this is the way we rock the house. Chaos killing his record.
Mm-hmm.
We done with the vocals, but somebody opened the door, and we like, yo, who's at the door?
Right.
I kid you not. Run-DMC
No way.
opens the door.
Oh my God.
Tane was sitting there, so he saw him first. He looked at me like,
Yo. Yo.
and Chaos froze, and I opened when he got through the door, and I saw him peek. I was
Oh
like,
my
I was like, yo. I'm looking at Tane. Tane froze. I already know how you feel. He said, yo, I'm sorry if I interrupted y'all, but I heard y'all scratching my voice, so I'm like, no way, though. You just walk in like that. So he said, y'all mind if I stay? Chaos, continue. Chaos, he finished the scratches while he's standing there. And he's like, okay, I'm good. Yo, salute to y'all. And he walked out. I looked at Tan. He looked at me. He was speechless. He's like, yo, did that just happen?
Right.
I said, yeah, it happened. Your hero walked in here
He was
while all
shocked.
this was going. I mean, like,
He was in shock.
things have happened with me and him before.
Right.
With things we've done, going on tour and stuff like that. But that stuck out to me only because I knew how much of a fan he was of him. I was like, that was for you. But like, a lot of tour stories with him. I was his barber for a while.
Okay.
So there's a lot of stories we've had. Like, but I would say the best stories I have of him is recording in the studio.
Really?
Recording both of these albums, but like, we had no idea none of this stuff would work.
Yeah.
So a lot of times, he would be like, yo, I'll believe it when I see it. I said, we're recording the record. So for him, it was a shock. But my man, was impeccable on the mic. He made me better as an MC. And I tell people that all the time, like, yo, when you listen to him, you had to bring your best. So it brought the best out of me.
Oh, that's
But
dope.
like, yeah, being in the studio with him was definitely my best memories.
Yeah, yeah. So you're a barber?
Yes.
Really? When did you go to barber college?
No barber college.
No barber college. Well, you know, I had to ask because I had a salon for 9 years.
Yes.
I did hair and had so many stories about that. But the fact that you cut hair, it makes the whole polo connection and the fly guy aura, like, it all makes sense.
And look, but it's still on the cheeky cheek.
The edge up is always crisp on Instagram.
Look, I'm in the crib every time. Look, you learn as a youngster at 18, 19. We got fades and stuff like that. So my man Polo Ice, if you ever see that name in any of my threads, Polo Ice is one of my best friends.
Yeah.
He had more hair than all of us. So his fade was phenomenal. And I was like, yo, I got some clippers.
Uh-oh. It's on.
Let me try you. He's like, no, you ain't. I said, trust me, I think I got the idea of it. I did myself first.
Okay.
But the hardest part is always doing the back.
Right.
So once I got the hang of it, he never went to the barbershop no more. Team never went. Chaos never went. So it was just when it's time for showtime.
Got you.
We clipping up. I'm doing
In
everybody,
the
even
dressing
on tour. Sadat done got clipped.
Oh my gosh.
I think I did Ed OG's beard one time.
Yeah.
AG. If you ever see AG showing AG, I told him.
That's a flex though. And I got edged up by Elder Sensei.
AG looked like Ice, and we always told them, yeah, y'all like some kind of twins, from somewhere.
Yeah.
I guarantee them, yo, tonight when I cut your hair, me, him, Party Artie, rest in peace, and Chaos. I told him about it. This the first show. I'm gonna cut your grip. Watch when this is over. I guarantee you, you're gonna walk away with a female by the time your show was over. He didn't believe me. And as I got cut him up, he was like, oh my God. He's like, yo, I'm uptown, like up in the Bronx right now. Show is over. I see him. And we go on stage. I see him walking around the whole spot while I'm performing. By the time I was done, he was like, yo, I'm out. I said, I told you.
Uh-oh.
Told you.
Uh-oh.
So, you know.
Confidence.
I can cook.
Yep.
A little something, you know, but I would say the one thing I would brag about that I cook is my wings. Okay. Hot wings, barbecue wings, hot chili, sweet chili, whatever. That I will bank on. Nobody could touch me on the wings.
Nobody could touch the wings.
Nobody.
Oh my God. So what you got? You can cook, you cut hair, you're an artist.
Yep. Yeah.
And you're MC. You just a Renaissance black man. You DJ.
When you grow up, you going through the hip hop lifestyle. You gonna learn everything. You around DJs, you gonna learn how to DJ.
Well, let me ask you this: what would the viewers be surprised to find out that like, can you ski or play the guitar? Like, what would somebody be surprised to find out about Elder Sensei?
If you ever saw me throw a football, all right, that I can play basketball, but I'm not like many other artists I know that swift on the basketball court. Football for me.
Really?
But, I would think that. Anything sports-wise, I think people would be surprised because they think we all just go in the booth, and that's the most sporty thing we do. So, I was with Ed OG. He found out like that. We on the road in Montana at his friend's house, and he got a football. I grabbed the ball, told him, man, go down there.
Yeah.
He had a big yard, so I'm drilling him. Wham, wham, wham. He's like, yo, did you? Yeah, I did.
Right.
So Dad asked me that, too. We went to the gym. Did you play football in school? Yeah, but I quit, and I ain't, I just knew I wasn't going to get further than where I was at. But I think if people saw that, they'd probably be surprised.
Wow.
But most of the time, even when they see the artwork or they see the drawing, it's more to it than just being MC.
Right.
So is Rakim and Master Ace on the football tip?
Yeah, and I know Ace was a coach,
right.
and I've seen him be successful. I remember he had the Madden tournaments and stuff like that. So I was like, wow, for this guy to be involved in that, and I see where the strategy comes from and how he involves that with his music too.
Yeah.
So yeah, there's a few other cats too.
No, that's dope.
But I know that off the rip, yeah, that's I didn't know Rakim though. Wow.
Yeah, he was going to play football, and then I think Eric B's brother came and got him and took him over to Eric B's house.
And he said, that's it.
That was because Bumpy Knuckles ain't show up. But since this is
okay,
story,
yeah.
Rakim tell it way better than me.
Okay.
But yeah.
So I wanted to ask you a little bit about your role in the graffiti culture and just art culture at large. As an artist with roots in the graffiti culture, how has this influenced your music and identity as a hip-hop artist?
And that's a good question because, and I would say this, wrong side of the tracks
Yeah.
is pretty much in a bottle, you know, what me and Tame were like growing up. That was just is not told in the story form, but pretty much. Far as the Artifact group, Tame was the main element far as like between the two of us. He grew up as, 15, 12, up and up doing this. I was turned on to it after being a B-boy. And because I was drawn as well, I caught the bug, not as much as him. My father wouldn't let me go out and do all the stuff I saw people doing. He's like, you watching this B Street, you think you're going to be doing that?
Oh, man, come on.
So
look at
I
it going on.
did things I've done growing up, but then as I in the hood where I was living, I saw Tame pieces. I saw his tags. My J. Rule, Porno, Mellow Max 165, J. Burn. These are all my friends. So and within this, it was weird how me and Tame got together because I knew of him only because I saw his name. When we met at the person's house when we got put together, he was a graffiti artist as well. So I'm in the room and I see all these names I've seen on the street. And then I see Tame's name, and he said, yeah, he rapped too. I was like, whoa. So I was like, okay.
Yeah.
Every time I went there, he was never there. But the time he did come, we clicked.
Wow.
I was just like, you're the dude that be writing that? But I saw his pieces, and I saw it was a pit they had before we go downtown Newark, before you go to Macy's. They had knocked this building down, and they went down there and did pieces
Went
and stuff.
to town, yeah.
And I'm just like, every day I saw that, because my mother worked at Macy's, and I was just like, that's incredible.
Yeah.
Then to meet him,
Right.
then to do music with him. So that was always instilled in the music, and that was, I would say, pretty much where we got our style from. Showing what our style was like as far as MCing. It was contributed and meshed with, I would always say, what you would see either what he did on the wall or what we did on paper. We went to Con Art, did a Rap Pages interview where they had no clean wall for us, but they had a wall with a big hole in it.
Uh-oh.
We was like, damn, that's the only one we
That's
get?
that's all we
So
got?
we stood there, was like,
We're going to work with it, or?
we made a Flintstone house. The hole was the window of the house. Left it like that, drew around it. I forgot totally what we wrote, but Redman saw it.
Wow.
He went there, see, I was at Con Art, and I saw the thing I did, and I was so proud of how happy, da-da-da. But every time I think about stuff like that, that is pretty much what me and Tane was. Like, even when you would hear the songs, you would attribute it to knowing that we tag, and Tame is this person within the group that is the beacon. Like, this guy used his name, and that was his rap name. His rap name was his graffiti name.
Wow.
Not a lot of MCs in life will do that. You put yourself on the line.
Yeah, because you taking a risk.
And he was an avid writer until he passed.
Wow.
So I always say that our music reflected in every way what Jersey was like, because Jersey not so much supposed to be a home of hip hop, but when you think about it, we're right across the water from New York. So we caught the bug early, graffiti bug early. And this is all at the same time, because that's how I saw what I saw. You know, as a B-boy, went to Bronx Zoo, and I'm looking at the Bronx like, damn, this shit look crazy out
all
here.
the trains.
Bomb drop. I'm like, what? But then I'm looking at the graffiti.
Right.
Everywhere. My father like, come on.
Yeah.
I'm like, but wait.
Like, I'm amazed, Dad.
The
Hold
train-
on. Yeah.
Train, bro.
Yeah.
Got home that same day, saw Star Wars. And this is like one of the most important movies growing up. This was on PBS. So my father saw that, and I'm in that watching this movie, my book drawing, and that's when he told me, "You think you're gonna be?" I was like, "Yeah, I will.
Yeah.
If not like that, but eventually I will."
Right.
And that stuck with me and Tame until we actually made a record.
Wow.
And for the first record to put out, to be Wrong Side of the Tracks, it was fitting, but we didn't know that was gonna be the single. You know, we had all the songs done. Had a meeting with the label reps, different magazines, other video shows and stuff, and we just playing the record, and it got the wrong side. My man said, play it again.
Right.
Somebody else, yo, play it again. 8 damn times they played this record. And one of the label dudes came to me and said, so I guess we know which one gonna be the single. I said, I guess so. But for all the songs we had, for that one to get picked, it made sense. But that wasn't the regular, for that time it was like, anthems. So for us to be talking about, we wasn't talking about women, we wasn't talking about partying, we wasn't talking about, we were talking about graffiti. And one thing led to another, and then I told Tame too, to the day we die, we're gonna be known for that song the most. So it's not a Cisco moment. Be happy that when you go, that you'll be remembered for that. KRS gave us a shout out for it.
Shout outs to him.
One of the things he said, and this is when he reviewed the song on Hot 97. How was it a group from New Jersey made a song that happened about a song where something happened in New York, and no other New York artist ever thought about making the song. Right after that, Out for Fame on his record. Shout out on that.
Yeah.
MCs act like they don't know. Give us a shout out on that. Y'all know him, no? That was just really just him, And then when we met him, he gave us a Temple of Hip Hop book. But he told me he said, "Well, y'all don't realize what y'all did."
Yeah, that's what I'm trying to say. Like when everybody talks about the artifacts, we always talk about the 5 elements of hip hop. And you got lyricism, DJing, and you got graffiti.
B-boy,
and for people to say, okay, the Artifacts crew is a key element in the culture of hip hop because y'all were known as the graffiti crew hip hop group.
Right.
And I just feel like, well, do you feel like that's accurate?
Yes, especially because of where we from.
Yeah.
I didn't think a lot of people thought we was from New York until they saw
I know
the video.
I did when I first heard y'all. Because the
and
accents
for a lot
are
of reasons,
similar.
A lot of reasons.
Yeah.
We would come to the city and perform and do, as far as like we would call it our demo shows. So clubs like Demararas and Lyricist Lounge. We did those first early shows. People just saw this. They saw Tame Dress. They saw how we would dress. Hanging out in New York.
Yeah.
Everybody, once they got a whiff of us being on Stretch and Barbito, we would show up at these places, and they were like, "Okay, yeah." But then they were like, "Where y'all from?" Like we wouldn't say where we was from on stage.
Right.
Only after we do the show. Yeah, we out. Going back to Jersey, we like, what the what? Because from in that time frame, Jersey wasn't so much considered as a home of hip hop in a way of that was traditional New York. Even with the artists that was already out before me and Tame. I mean, that's far-fetched. But it was a lot more before us. But with what we was doing and what we was talking about and the way we was rhyming, they couldn't believe that we was from where we was from. So and that's when we were one of the first groups to even talk about the elements. When we made Wrong Side of the Tracks, nobody was talking about graffiti or hip hop in the way we were talking, where it just started rolling. And people started understanding, and you started hearing it more, like elements, because what we were talking about, one song was about graffiti, but we didn't want people to think we were graffiti writers trying to be rappers. Right. So we just happen to be these dudes that are like a lot of y'all out there.
Exactly.
That can DJ, that can rhyme, that can b-boy, and you're just all around elemental person in hip hop. Right. Hip hop is a way of life. Hip hop is what you breathe when you wake up in the morning. Most of the times, you turn to something on to motivate yourself to get up and do your day. Me and Tame was dudes from Jersey. That was like people from New York. But people from New York and everywhere else at the time couldn't understand how in the hell y'all from Jersey talking about these elements. Even though there's Redman, even though there's Tretch and Naughty by Nature and Lords of the Underground, just because they don't speak that language don't mean they not from that. Right. We spoke the language because we was like, okay, nobody's talking about it.
Right.
And blame
And it
Lord
resonates.
Jamar.
Exactly.
Blame Lord Jamar
Shout out to Lord
for wrong
Jamar.
side of the tracks. Lord Jamar is the one that asked me and Tame in Sadat's basement, what are y'all about? Who are y'all? What? So he, we graffiti. I'm a b-boy. He a graffiti artist. We talk about what he said. Okay, go write about it.
Yep.
We sat right there in Jamar's basement, wrote wrong side, recorded it, but we couldn't clear the sample to put it on the album.
Okay.
So the way y'all hear it today is
Yeah.
the version we did with T-Ray. Jamar was busy, so he did the hook as well. So I had to say the hook. So the way I'm saying the hook, just imagine my voice as Lord Jamar. He, so we had to take the place of that. But
Yeah. No, that's cool. Now, I wanted to ask you about some of your collaborations. And so what are the key elements that you look for in a collaborator, and how do you ensure your styles to complement each other?
my first collaboration song when I came out as a solo artist was with Organized Confusion,
Oh, wow.
Mike Zoot, and FT. I knew of FT. I didn't know of Mike Zoot. Mike Zoot was an artist that my man Matt Fingers had signed to his label. And he asked me, like, yo, if you had a chance, and this is right after me and Tane broke up. I remembered him because he would always come to our sessions in the Artifact sessions. I was like, I wonder what this little dude doing right now. I called him up. Do that still stand that you asked me if I was, want to do a solo thing? Would you? He's like, yeah, it does. I'm like, okay, so you want to do it? He's like, yeah. But who would you want to do a song with? Thought about it. Organized. If you can make that happen, we good. He's like, what about Mike Zoot? So, okay, it come with the, let's go. Because I
Right.
know of Mike's music too, but I never met him. And when he said FT, I said, I know FT. Let's put Street Smarts on there. So when we got to actually do the song, Monch, now, I tell Monch all the time, he's my favorite rapper. Organized was one of my favorite groups. Poe came to the studio, but Poe was thinking he was hanging out. Monch wanted me to be in the booth with him when he's doing his verse. I was flattered. But
Right.
then he asked, I heard all the barrage of lyrics.
Right.
He's like, yo, is that okay?
Like, oh my gosh.
Is that okay?
What? Yeah.
I was like, my man, listen, you are good. Go out the booth. FT came, Mike did his part, and Poe the last one. So Poe in the room, he watching TV, chilling. I was like, excuse me, what's going on? He's like, what's wrong? I was like, why you not writing? Oh, word? I said, you think I called you here to chill out? I went in the other room, came back, tossed the notebook in his chest, gave him something else, gave him the envelope, get to work, buddy. And the song came out crazy. And it was actually my first solo single, where Sean J. Period did the beats, called Frontline. That was one of the most automatic songs I would have to say I've ever done, and had like 5 people on it. To split the bars up, we had to do a crazy order and still have a hook on it as well.
Yeah.
Most of the times when I work with people, it's like almost like Avengers Assemble.
Right.
A lot of times when artists work with each other because they're fond of their skills.
Right.
So whether if I pay you or we do a barter or we just getting a hookup, I know what you're capable of doing on the mic. So that's the reason why we in here in the studio, or reason why we trading off beats to do the songs.
Exactly.
So from the people that I work with and some I haven't worked with, I still got a belt with notches on it I'm trying to fill.
You trying to fill them
to
up?
get with people, and a lot of these features happen through other producers or other people that's doing music. So like, without it being my project, I've been able to work with a lot of different people. CL Smooth,
Shout out to them.
Inspect the Deck.
Inspect the
Even though
Deck's
my man
crazy.
didn't put the record out, I got the record.
That's
So
right. That's right.
I'll put it out one day, or maybe y'all hear it, whatever. But there's a lot of things that go into doing songs. You never know what the artist's gonna do. I'm not one to ask, like, let me hear what you got first. It's pretty much what you do. And if I hear it first or not, my job is to pretty much do what you probably gonna expect me to do because of what you heard me do already.
Exactly.
And that's the attraction to having good features, because you know what their powers are.
Exactly.
So whoever don't think these are superpowers we're using, we are.
Yeah.
mental powers, lyrical powers.
Most definitely.
Because you're first thing you got to say, you're getting paid for thoughts.
Mm-hmm.
But the thoughts can't be cheap thoughts. It can't be random cheap thoughts. Because
Exactly.
people are in tune to what we're doing.
Mm-hmm.
So as an artist, if you send out a beat for a feature, sometimes you would hope, it hasn't happened to me yet,
Yeah.
but you would hope that the person on the song will take into consideration that they may be getting, that they are getting paid, or that people gonna hear this. So like, you just only ask.
Yeah.
You don't want to say, you'll do your best,
Right. Absolutely.
but do your best.
Absolutely.
Because a lot of times people mess up for other people when it comes. People get a bad taste in their mouth when they send money out and they don't get the verse back, or they don't get a serious verse
It
back.
could sour the
'cause
relationship.
They paying money.
Exactly. You know.
So I look for explosions, because like I said, I take pride in everything I do as far as a feature. So I would hope that, what I expect in return.
Absolutely. Now, you've had a lot of legendary collaborations. Do you have a dream collaboration?
Hell yeah.
With somebody? what's the main one that pops into your mind? Who would that person or that group be, or that, you know what I'm saying, singer be, or you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I would say most of my collaboration might be producer collaborations.
Okay.
But then what comes with the producer, like, I know I'm probably never gonna get a song with Pete Rock and CL Smooth, but I did one with CL, but I would like a beat from Pete.
Let's manifest
So
that.
yeah,
that would
I'll
be
say
crazy.
it. I'll put it in the air because it's just like you said, even if it's a dream.
Yeah,
So,
we gotta align that.
Yep.
Yeah.
Chubb Rock. I would say one of my best friends, my man Beneficence. Beneficence, my man didn't work with a lot of these people but he has the same passion I have.
Right.
So when you have tools to be able to use them to get these things done, he has done, and because he told me he was going to do it. So like, we the same in that far as a dream and wanting to work with certain people. So when I look at his show, I'm like, what? Like, you got one with him? I'm like, yo, look, I'm dying to do that, but it's just, these are a lot of MC dreams. So, Jungle Brothers.
Yeah.
I'm about to do one with Skyzoo.
Oh, wow.
Actually, I did do one with Skyzoo in the past, but something new about to happen. Master Ace. Bumpy.
Yeah.
No, I'm sorry. We did one with Bumpy with me and Sadat. But he does beats.
Right,
so I would love to do a collaboration like that. But it's mostly, Snoop.
Snoop's got a crazy voice.
I would love to do a song with him.
Yeah.
Alcoholics. These are dreams that I have.
You got a couple.
But then, but like even when I was thinking about to say Beat Nuts, I'm like, well, okay, they did. Vic and Juju did Brick City Kids, which was on their label, which was on Raucous, which was the first record that Raucous ever put out.
Oh wow!
And a lot of people don't know that, so I try to put that out there a lot. So it's I would say mostly producers though.
Yeah.
If it was able to happen.
That's dope. No, that's a epic
Alchemist.
list. The Alchemist. Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
That's super dope. And so I wanted to switch gears too, because everybody talks about your merchandise and business mind. And so I have to show the camera this.
Where, see?
Okay, Elder Sensei designed my logo, and you see I had to have a polo because I want the press of the day.
I noticed that.
So you had to, I had to wear, ain't nobody gonna be able to say it ain't Ralph
official
though.
Tissue.
It ain't Ralph though. Yes, it is Ralph.
Yes.
But I have this logo on here, and so you do freelance work as well. And so merchandise has become an essential part of an artist brand, right? And so how do you approach designing and marketing your merchandise? Because it's so incredible what you've been doing. I've been watching on social media.
This tag, this tag goes a long way. This was done by Risk in LA. A lot of people think me and Tame drew this, but we didn't. But over the years, you see it so long, you adapt to it. But as far as the merch, I always stressed, having merch, whether it's T-shirts. I didn't dive into the heavy of it, like as far as the hoodies, and started doing hats I was afraid at first because I knew I was going. The first run, I failed. I took the money and did other stuff with it, and then I was like, okay, no, I ain't gonna do that
Got
again.
it invested
So
back.
and sorry to say, it's almost like selling weed and selling. You know what I'm saying?
You gotta bump your head.
You just being a clean person with it, where you're saying you're just using the methods of it.
Right.
You know, because that was the best thing I can explain to people when like, well, how was it like? I said, you got flip.
Yeah.
Keep flipping and flippity flip, flip, flip. So if you know dudes from the past, from our era, where I grew up, I knew people where you could get them $200. You'll flip this for me. So when I said it, okay, I get you now. All right. So you must have product. I do a lot of on hand, you know, where I get the merch. A lot of people don't want to do that. They like to do the print on demand. I'm probably going to dive into that, but it's only because I want to see how far it could stretch other than me doing it. But with me doing it, I'm giving an experience to the customer to say, guess what? It's not a third-party person doing this. This is me. I'm going to the post office. I'm signing the packages. With that means that I had to get out of using the U.S. Postal tools, and I started going to Stick a Mule and making my own packaging, getting tape, having a more personal touch because of the branding. So if people knew that they were getting it from me, and they knew when they talking to the person behind the page, oh, so this really, a lot of times they be shocked. They're like, oh, it really is you. I'm like, yeah. Like, who else gonna do it?
Yeah.
But then because, like, look, with you speaking to me now, yeah, I got a merch page, but what I learned in that, I'm not a factory. I don't want people to think I'm a factory.
You're independent,
or
right.
I don't want them to think that it's like this big old thing over here that's where you can order and say, I want these many, and I'm like, whoa. I took the button off of my merch page because I knew if they could just go willy-nilly with it, I'm not doing print on demand. I got what I got.
So after something sells out,
I took the button off to where they could, but I had big red, and you can see it even now, big red writing. Before you push anything, email me first, and I'll tell you what I got.
Okay.
And this is the reason why I want to dive into something different.
Right.
Because, like I said, I saw a lot of people running into that issue when you're not a factory, and when people think that, you know, I got all these smalls and mediums and larges. Only because the merch page is up. Right. So I would expect them to think that I have that, but it's not. So I had to be more direct and tell people to follow me on Instagram and maybe Facebook. So I sometimes I do it on Twitter. I'll get people to buy stuff on there too, but because Instagram is picture driven, I'm putting the pictures up.
No,
so
that's smart.
if you try to go on the merch page, those are the regular search, but if you follow that, you won't see all the other stuff. So there's no hats on there. There's no updated colors, updated logo, update with it. So it's like, that's an everyday thing. So I tell people to follow me. And then too, you'll see other things. I have a lot of links on the merch page where you can go to the videos, and but on a regular basis, every day. I tell people, you know, follow me. My other page got hacked. So that was like 39,000 plus people and a whole bunch of robots that was on that page. But I learned the new page I have, I'm up to like 11,000 plus or whatever, but it's now I know who people are. It's not a lot of robots. I can see who's who, so it's, even though it's still building up, it's getting back to that traffic because they know it's me. And if they and a lot of people are still going to the other page, but I'm not on there. And I tell people, like, you see the last picture that was up there?
Right.
That's going. I'm way past that now.
Right.
So they follow me on the new one. But it's a little bit better.
Yeah, no, you're a very smart businessman. And like, I'll go to the page because I follow you on social media, but it'll say sold out.
Right.
Sold out, and then you'll do a show and have everything available after your shows and stuff. I'm like, he's a very smart businessman because you're like, yeah, you know, you get paid for the show, and then you get the bonus extra dough.
And this is the thing I try to tell
But not just shirts
dudes.
and hats. Sometimes you have the book bags and the cups, and the mugs, and I'm like, yo. Yeah, I'm like, oh my gosh, like listen. I'm like, okay, well, where's the flagship store?
Right.
Where's the boutique?
That's the thing.
Like, have you thought about like getting a storefront and stuff?
I did think about that, but the thing I don't want is the traffic and the friends and the family and the, you know, look. I just want to sell shirts.
Yeah.
I don't want y'all coming here
Online
every day,
is-
hanging
yeah.
out. You know, there's nothing in here for y'all to see but clothes
And
and
you
shirts.
cut costs too.
Exactly.
That, when you have a
and-
brick and mortar building, you got to pay rent no matter what.
I saw
utilities
Vinny
and-
from Naughty by Nature go through that. He had the
Yeah.
store for a while,
Mhm.
but like you said, this the whole thing of it. Like that would be something if I was like really, really, really doing something. But I don't think I would.
It's not that,
'Cause that
yeah.
means I have to be there, and that means if I got to be there, other people gonna want to be there. We're gonna see if we can catch them today. And like I'm in the
Yeah.
studio today. That's why you got other people
Like
working for you.
you got to get a manager
Right,
and
right, right.
somebody to stock it. So that's a whole another set of issues.
But what I will do though, I will probably dive into the print on demand, but I will let them do. There's a lot of things that go into doing that as well because, you know, when it came to doing the merch, I was doing all the merch by myself, and I
It's a lot.
have had some issues with, you know, certain people when it comes to doing what I'm doing. But I always tell people the same thing. Like, look, if you in a group and you sharing this group name, not one person in the group should do everything by themselves, and not one person think that they should get something for nothing. You have, if it's a business, you got to put into the business, and this is what I always stress. So like, and I'm just saying this because whoever sees this and they know what I'm doing, they already know what it is, and so it's never been a secret of who was doing what. But I always would say that when people do ask me, I'm like, look, if I'm not doing it, and there's a third party person doing it, gladly share, because now I'm not doing all the work.
That's right.
And I feel as though if you want to, this was always said.
Yeah, later
If
for
you
that.
want to be
Yeah.
in business, you have. There's no. That's why companies have investors.
That's
'Cause
right.
Not one person can do the conglomerate.
Exactly.
Takes a lot.
It does. It takes a lot. But I can appreciate what you've been doing. And I want to ask you specifics on your music and then like your process. So I want to talk about Wrong Side of the Tracks. Okay? It's an iconic track. Can you share the story behind its creation and what it means to you?
So T-Ray, you know, other than the story I told about Jamar, once we knew T-Ray was going to be doing production for us, we hung out with T-Ray.
Okay.
We went to his crib. He lived in Brooklyn, Avenue S. We would catch the limo car to his crib, and a lot of the songs that we did with him were conceived in his basement. So, but Wrong Side, that was just a no-brainer for us because I can name Chubb Rock, Entice, Pete Rock, Third Base, a few others have used this sample, the Ninth Creation Bubblegum. Growing up, we always liked this record as just a break, but we knew people that used it. Even Pete Rock, we felt like Pete Rock used it the best, but he used it the end of the record as far as like to chop. That was the drum break. And we just happened to see the record in his crate, and we was like, man, put that on.
Let's
we
see
put it
what this-
on, you know what I'm
yeah.
saying? And we just listening. We was like, yo, this shit. Tam was like, man, you know what? How about we don't care who used it? T-Ray was like, man, hey, and he's from North Carolina. Hey, man, I don't care. Whatever y'all want to do, I'll loop it up. Hey, and we okay, looped it up, and he pulled the drums out and started chopping the drums up. But that horn, Jack Bruce record, pulled that out, and we just let that play. And as soon as the first horn note dropped, we like, okay. When it got to the, but then we started hearing other stuff. But then when it broke down and just, I was like, oh, whoa, bring that back. And T-Ray's like, you know, hey man, I hear it. Wait, pull it back, and we just like kept playing. It was like, no, loop that and put that on that. But the other horn stab came from something else.
Okay.
And then one thing led to another, and he started thickening up the bass, and we was like, you know what? And I told Tam, I said, guess what this gonna be? Being that we can't clear the sample for Jamar's record, we put those vocals on that beat, and it fell right, and it just was
Fell into place.
melodic.
Lovely.
That horn just, you know. But like I said, we know everybody gonna know what the record is, but we don't care. And when we put the beef behind it, it was like, okay, now it's uncomparable. Nobody can talk about it now.
Yeah.
And for the record to do what it did, I guess sometimes when you make records, and even if it's, hey, this was not an excuse, but like my man said, rappers and art, you don't own no loops. How you hook it up in the round style troop. So that was the thing we used to say, hey, look, you heard what Guru said. As many people that use certain breaks and stuff like that is how you use it.
Exactly.
And we did it in a way where,
very
to
creative.
this day, nobody else remembers all the other records when that break come on. Even when you hear the break, you're not gonna think, and there's no disrespect to nobody. When you hear the record come on,
it's very significant
even if it's just
sound.
the break, even if it's just the break,
yeah,
people will automatically like,
it's impressive.
I know what that is. So, you know, when you can claim a break like that, a sample, that means the what's the word I want to say? The effect that it had on people was so long lasting. It's like, yo, I don't care who else used the sample, they used it the best, and we're gonna make that be the one. So you can play all the records back to back. For me, my personal one, the Chub Rock, actually, you know, the one. So if y'all know that record, you know, that's pretty much, you know, where I feel, you know, other than me and Tame, enticed too, but that's Chub Rock is one of my favorite MCs as well. So
Shout
I'm
out
not
to
mad
him.
at that.
Yeah, no, definitely. And so I wanted to ask you about what you got coming up next. We talked about the clothing and everything, but you know, what is next for Elder Sensei? Do you have any hoodies coming? You have any music coming? I know you involved in all the elements of hip
we're gonna
hop.
always have merch.
You know what I mean? And
Yeah.
so I'm like, what's coming up next? Because you have so much going on.
Man, I would say the most immediate thing coming next, me and my brother Mint Plus, he's a producer from Jersey.
Okay.
We got an album coming out. I'm trying to actually get the label to tell me a release date because I know they got to press the vinyl and stuff like that. So I'm waiting for that. But hopefully, if not in the fall, maybe December, going into January.
Okay.
And you know, that's a record I can say that's not like all the other the rest I've done. It's actually a thing of me getting back to doing a lot of solo stuff because a lot of the things I've done recently, me and Jake Palumbo did an album, me and Sadat did an album, so this is my first record totally soloed since The Unusual. So I'm proud of this record because there's a lot of people that people don't know. Got a female ramen on it and a female singing on the record, so I like doing songs with females. I always tell them don't think about.
Shout out to the queens.
Word up. I always say the same from Ty Phoenix on down. My friend Drift. I tell them, yo, black out on me. Whatever you feel like you need to do on this song, don't think about me. You black out. So it's, you know, because I want it to be equal, and I want people to even say when they hear it, like, yo, she was even better than you.
Oh.
So you know, this goes back to when you pick people to feature with. These are the things you look for. Because if you hear their stuff and you be like, okay, I want you to do the same thing
exactly
on this, just like that. And don't think about me being on the song or nothing like that, because I got to keep up with whatever you're going to do too.
Right, just do your thing. Yeah.
So, you know, this is a record like that. My man Fresh Daily is on it. He's from Brooklyn. My man Venomous 2000, he's on it. And like I said, these are people whose names you're going to see, don't know. But when you hear these songs, you know, and this is my man Mint Plus' first full length with an MC. So, you know, I'm just hopefully he'll see what it'll be like, and hopefully myself see what it'll be like to have a successful record that was made from home.
Yeah.
He made the
from
whole
scratch.
record in his crib, and no
Yeah.
different than me and Ross.
Definitely.
It'll be something I hope that everybody gonna like. It'll set up a lot of things for later, but it's another step in a different direction.
Yeah.
But in a direction where sound-wise, I think people are going to be surprised. You know, I'm going to just let the cat out the bag now. We recorded this record in 2012.
Wow.
And it still sounds fresh because nobody heard it.
Wow.
So I'm confident in the fact that even if it was from that time,
No, I
it's
think
going to be
that's cool.
well received.
Yeah, no, I think that's dope. And so where can the viewers and supporters find you on social media?
Hey, I'm on IG.
Okay.
L_the_Sensei. Just start typing it up. You'll see 2 pages, but it's one that got a damn long hyphen on the bottom.
Yes.
So don't mess with that one. That's not the one to rock with.
Yeah.
But yeah, you know, we gonna be going on tour later on this year.
Oh, that's dope.
Go back to Europe.
Yeah.
Talking to some people from Colombia.
Mm-hmm.
Hopefully, me and Ross get our stuff finished so we can go to Sao
Brazil
Paulo and all this stuff
yeah.
like that. So you know, a lot of things are happening. But
Killing
like,
the game.
yeah, man. You know, I'm proud of him for a lot of things he's doing.
Mm-hmm.
It just motivates me, and you know, I see what he about to do with Kweli, and he talked about that.
Yeah.
And you talking about putting something in the universe.
Mm-hmm.
This dude put a lot of things in the universe that I see him doing, and you know, it's all through hard work. You know, he earned it.
Yeah.
And you know, I just want people to hear what we all doing, especially what me and him got is totally different from a lot of the stuff I've done. Even with the older songs we got and that we added on to, it's just one hook here, one hook there, and him sitting down and getting to the mix. But a lot of things about to happen toward the end of this year and to next year.
Well, we're ready for it too, because I think everybody's ready for organic hip hop.
Yeah,
It's been so much mainstream like trash. It's like, okay, I think we are ready.
I think
for the realness to hit the streets. And so we proud of you, brother. We so thankful for all your contributions to the culture, not just with the graffiti, but you're a lyricist as well. And for that, you are a very powerful king, and thank you so much for being on the show today. I know you went through a lot to be here today.
Hey, look, this is
it's
New
been
York,
so crazy.
It's like this whole week since it's been hot.
New York is crazy.
But and look, I'm all for it because it could be cold as hell right now.
It could be.
I'm not waiting for that, but it was deadly hot this past week. So I'm glad we even got to do this, even with everything that happened today. But look, can't stop the bum rush.
That's right.
That's how I go.
That's right. Word up.
No
you know what I'm saying? And so thank you so much for being on the Queen's
thank you,
Address
man.
today. I appreciate you, King. And thank you for tuning in, and we'll catch you next time. Peace, King. Peace, Queen.
Queens in the house.